From shooting a shockingly brutal scene for Outlander to living with actual drug dealers during his early years, here are Sam Heughan's most controversial moments, starting with that Outlander scene that left us all a little traumatized. Now, Heughan is a total heartthrob, and everyone loves him, but that doesn't mean he hasn't had scandalous moments. A major one happened back in 2015, when he had to film a very disturbing scene about assault in the season finale of his show. Seriously, this one scene made a lot of fans quit Outlander entirely. So here's what went down. Jamie, played by Sam, strikes this sick bargain with this crazy redcoat captain, in exchange for his wife, Claire's safety, where Jamie lets the captain have his way with him. And man, they did not hold back on showing every gory detail. The whole thing was brutal as hell, and the producers didn't even bother with cutaways or fancy lighting tricks to soften the blow. Nope, they wanted it to be in your face, and trust me, it was. Now, I gotta admit, the performances were on point. They really went all out to make you feel the sheer brutality of the scene. But here's the thing. The rest of the episode just fell flat. If you ask me, it couldn't recover from that intense torture and struggled to patch together the storyline. Honestly, I was left wondering why they even felt the need to go to such extremes. Look, I get that TV shows need to push boundaries and all that, but this was just too much. Was it really necessary? All I know is I won't be watching that episode again anytime soon, and that it'll go down as one of the most controversial incidents of Heughan's career. But guess what? The story doesn't end there. In his newly launched book, Sam talks about this exact scene, and he puts the Outlander creators on blast. Seriously, in his juicy new memoir called Waypoints, My Scottish Journey, he talks about how he felt betrayed by the show's creative team over the entire situation. Heughan was very clear about how unhappy he was about it, especially all the nudity. He said that going full frontal wasn't necessary to pack an emotional punch. He had a solid point. Imagination can be way more powerful than showing everything. In his own words, the shot felt a little bit like a trust betrayal. Ouch. You gotta give him props for speaking up for what he believed in. Not a lot of stars have the guts to go after the creators of their own shows like that. So, what happened after all that? Some intense discussions went down, and a compromise was eventually reached. The nudity got scaled back to just the aftermath of the assault. But guess what? In a plot twist, it ended up being cut altogether in the final version. Talk about unexpected. By the way, Sam's commitment to a safe and collaborative environment on set also led him to bring an intimacy coordinator on board. He wanted to ensure everyone involved was protected while exploring those steamy scenes with more depth. I mean, major kudos to him for making sure that everyone on set remains comfortable. And that isn't the only time the actor has spoken up about something like this. In 2020, the actor made a seriously controversial statement, talking about how he has suffered constant bullying and harassment online. In an epic 4-part note on Twitter, Sam dropped a total bombshell, calling out all the personal slurs, abuse, stalking, and downright vile behavior he and his loved ones have had to endure. Talk about crossing the line. Let's give credit where it's due. As a talented actor, he deserves respect and boundaries just like the rest of us. Can we all agree on that? There's also been some rumors floating around about him being gay, and none of it's actually true. And let's not forget the constant invasion of his privacy by some fans. Stalking, hacking, and all sorts of shady stuff. Seriously, people, let's take a moment to reflect on our actions. But hey, it's not all bad news. Sam also took the time to thank his true fans for their support and urged everyone to be kind. He's right. There are much bigger things to worry about in this world. The way Heughan deals with moments like these just goes to show that this guy is more than just a handsome face on our screens. He's a person with feelings, just like you and me. But you know, as much as I love the man, I can't deny that he also does mess up sometimes. I mean, remember that time he got dragged on Twitter for vacationing during the pandemic? Now that was a scandal and a half. So basically, during a live Q&A, Sam spilled the beans that he was actually on vacation in Hawaii after PaleyFest got canned. Cue the backlash, and for good reason. One fan questioned if he had booked the trip knowing about the pandemic, and things got heated real quick. Sam didn't hold back, firing back at the criticism. He clarified that he only booked the trip after PaleyFest got canceled, and assured everyone that he understood the seriousness of the situation. But it didn't end there. Fans got even more riled up when they found out that Hawaii's governor had advised visitors to postpone their vacations, and Sam still went. Yeah, he walked right into that one. People started calling him out, accusing him of being irresponsible and burdening the local healthcare system. The tension was wild, you guys. But Sam clapped back, defending himself and saying he was self-isolating and taking necessary precautions during his vacation. But it's safe to say that Sam's tropical getaway didn't go over too well with everyone. The internet had a field day and opinions were divided. Just goes to show that even your favorite stars aren't immune to making big mistakes. Just like that time Heughan pretty much embarrassed the hell out of himself. The actor talks about it in his memoir, and let me tell you, it's hard just to read about. So I can't even imagine what it must have felt like. It all went down when Sam was a struggling actor, working as a bartender to make ends meet. Imagine this. Sam, just an average guy holding a tray of drinks, bumps into Richard Madden, known for his roles in Game of Thrones and Bodyguard. Despite having met Madden multiple times before, Sam musters up the courage to say a friendly, "Hi, Richard." But, oh dear, Madden doesn't have a clue about who he is. In that painfully awkward moment, Sam's knuckles turned white as he clung to the tray, desperately hoping the ground would swallow him whole. Once Madden walked away, Sam makes a hasty excuse and headed for the nearest exit, feeling ashamed and embarrassed. But this incident becomes a turning point in his life. The encounter pushes Sam to realize he can't settle for a life in hospitality. It ignites a fire in him to make something of himself before hitting 40. It's a moment that fuels his determination to succeed as an actor. It's crazy the turns life takes, right? Speaking of crazy turns, did you know that this guy used to live with drug dealers before landing Outlander? I know, it seems crazy that our lovable Jamie Fraser had this kind of past, but it's true. In a recent interview with actor Tom Ellis, Sam spilled the beans on his past. And let me tell you, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. According to Sam, during his early days, he found himself living in a London flat on a street infested with drug dealers and criminals. Can you imagine that? Rubbing shoulders with some shady characters while trying to make it in the acting world. Talk about a tough break. But Sam didn't let that stop him. He moved to Edinburgh at 14, attended drama school in Glasgow, and even scored a gig in a touring play across the UK. Sadly, though, his struggles didn't end there. Young Heughan faced the harsh reality of auditioning, sometimes successfully, sometimes not, while juggling odd jobs in bars just to make ends meet. That's the life of a jobbing actor for you. Then, thankfully, out of the blue, Hollywood came a-calling. Sam snagged a self-tape audition for the movie, Tron, and next thing he knew, he was whisked away to Tinseltown in style. But here's the kicker, he was completely broke. Talk about a contrast. Fancy hotels, first-class flights, and the fear of not being able to afford a tip for the driver. Now that's what you call an emotional roller coaster. Despite the ups and downs, Sam's resilience paid off. He stayed consistent with his acting and finally got his big break with Outlander, which is how his life took a dramatic turn, turning him into the sensation that he is today. But even now, with the show in its 6th season, Heughan's not ready to hang up his kilt just yet, and not just because he loves wearing it so much. See, Sam has big dreams and ambitions. He's ready to tackle new challenges beyond Outlander, and if he can't do what he sets his mind to, I don't know who can. Well, there you have it. From living with drug dealers while struggling to make it as an actor, to shooting that brutal scene in Outlander Season 1. Those were Sam Heughan's most controversial moments.